Hi, Pisces. Sagittarius season. This season has a certain magic to it. It's a different kind than yours, obviously. The season for you can be a lot of things. But most importantly, it's a great time for reflection. You know your season's coming. You can already feel the tides because you're the next water sign to come around. And a little taste of what has been going on since Scorpio season, right? So it's really important that you recognize this month that your ability to reflect and see what you have and be grateful for what you have begins to expand. You have a lot more capacity to understand that you have wants and desires, and there's certain things that you hope to accomplish, or you might, Sagittarius season shows us that what we're lacking sometimes, if that's the way where we're looking. So in order for you to fully move into that 10 of Pentacles, this season is asking for gratitude, to not want too much more. And yeah, it's still important to do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, it's really important to look around and realize what you are grateful for, and to even express that, even if it's just to yourself, even if it's just this like internal conversation that you have with yourself. If not, it might be that you want more out of what you already have. That maybe for some of you, it could be about wanting to gain a certain position in whatever career you're in, or to make more money, or both. Usually those go hand in hand. It's also about you can get caught up in thinking about what you don't have in terms of that position, or if you're not in the position of, if you're single and if you're not with a partner, you can thinking about what you're lacking. And if you are with a partner and you are in a partnership, you could still be thinking about the places that you lack. And I know I keep saying that word, but that's why I keep bringing up this being grateful for what you've built so far and the value that you've brought to it. Because the only reason why we feel like we lack sometimes is because what you have doesn't have substance, or what you're wanting it's just very maybe physical, and that we can get caught up in that this season. It is that kind of season. But so basically what's happening with you, or what the cards are showing, is that you will have an opportunity this month, and it's probably going to be this will be out before the new moon eclipse in Sagittarius. But it's really important that if you can find this overarching sense of gratitude this season, and no matter what you think you're lacking in, you can turn that into being grateful and being appreciative, and knowing that there is always more. This is just where you're at now. If you can take that and use that as fuel, fire, you can accomplish a lot. And what I mean by that, again, physical comes too, but it's then the Three of Cups. It's like, don't distract yourself by overindulging in things of the past. Again, the reflection I said, you just told me to reflect, and now you're telling me not to go into the past. It's more about understanding what the past whatever's coming up from the past, what it has taught you thus far. What have you learned from it? How can you acknowledge that and still use whatever fuel you'll have this month to put into what it is that you desire? It's every step of the way. One of the best things I ever took from any kind of like book or program or whatever thing that I have done is that you do everything, one person said, I don't know exactly who, but you do everything impeccably and efficiently. How you do everything, how you do one thing is how you do everything for the most part. So even if you have to move slower one day, still working on the things you have to get done, you're still doing it. You know, like, don't give up on it altogether just because you can't get it all done in 1 day or 2 days or whatever. Just do whatever, move at whatever speed you need to move, and know that it may not feel like it's quick, but expansion is different. It doesn't always mean moving fast, right? Because when you actually take your time, which is something that you have the capability and the power to do, you know that the tides can pick up really quickly. It's just about how you're doing it. And the world then shows you. It's kind of like this, also Neptune, Jupiter's moving into your sign. You may find that every time you try to dream of something, or every time you feel like expansion coming in, or every time something's going on where you find this very positive, uplifting attitude and energy, then you feel this closed, like, contraction. So for you this month, you're going to feel what it's like to expand and contract. You're going to feel what it's like to open up and close in many different areas of your life. And it may happen subconsciously for some of you, but it's because it's showing you how that works. It's, again, think of the ocean, think of the tides pulling in and out, and it expands and it contracts. It's breath. It's the same thing. It's your lungs. It's important that you give yourself and give your brain the space to understand that the expansion is providing the knowledge and, you know, for lack of a better word, medicine for how you feel during the contraction. It's showing you that in order to get to this next place, in order to expand in this kind of way, you must contract in this way. You must pull back here. You must say no maybe to certain things you used to say yes to. You may feel a change of taste in that, because for most of us, our awareness only learns when we're in that experience and we've, you know, maybe decided the same thing and we didn't realize it's the same thing until after. You know what I mean? So it's really important that when things start to open up for you and you feel this, you know, maybe self-sabotaging nature, maybe just this, you know, part of your ego, or part of you that doesn't feel like you have the capability to expand much more, don't force yourself to either. Like, just maybe be there. You're going to have a different look on life after this month. You've been building up to it, but there's this final thing that happens this month. It's just important because your words can be, if you're in a place when you are not in the best state of mind, pull back. If you want to go ahead and say what you want to say, go ahead. But just remember where that's coming from, and remember that it's going to come for you in the future if you know, if you're not thinking clearly. Don't talk to people who don't understand you. I feel like that's advice I give to every sign at some point, but this month it's like, for real. I mean, you know, it's Sag season. You guys are similar in the sense that you have such potency with your words because your emotions that back it are so exactly how you feel, regardless of the context in that moment. But in the moment, sometimes what is lacking is the awareness of how this is going to draw out into the future. Not that you guys don't plan, not that you're irresponsible with yourselves. It's just that it's the fullness of how you're feeling and what's going on. For some of you too, this is really about your future. Most of you, this is really about your future this month. Just don't lose sight of all of the goodness around you, because there's a lot to celebrate. There's a lot of fun to be had. The first few the first half of the month is probably going to move quickly for you. It's funny because most signs it's moving rather slow, like slower to an extent, but yours it's kind of like have all the things, like it is indulgence, but it's just to be careful with what kind of indulgence isn't good for your mind, because when the world opens up, when a cycle ends, and this cycle of you maybe taking on too much or taking on some things, okay, something that you do, I love you, but just gotta say it, is that you decide and you take on things and you want to do all of these things and you're plenty capable and you have the leadership capacity, you have everything it takes, but then when it comes down to it and it starts happening, sometimes you just get it's like you can't fully step into it. You decide you want all this responsibility and then you don't, and then you back out. And I don't know why it is that you do that, but it's for you to figure out. So if you've been given more than you can handle, or if you're just unable to focus and you really want this is the month to get back in that focus and figure out what's this wishy-washy nonsense that's keeping you. You say you want these things, but you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to keep these things. It's consistency. Yeah, no one's perfect. We know that. It's just that when you decide to take things on, you in the moment get so passionate. This is a Sagittarius thing too. You want to take this on. You want to take responsibility. You can't execute, but then you leave yourself in the dust. You get overwhelmed, and then you drop the ball. And you can leave it for other people to clean up. So this month is showing you that you don't have to continue to do that. And you also don't have to do it in a way that maybe you used to do things. If you've taken on this responsibility, again, your own pace, find a pace. The season's going to want to push. You're cool with going with the fast pace. You can do it. Just don't lose sight on why you're doing or how you're doing what you're doing. Because this cycle of less than, lack thereof, is going to come to the forefront this month. Why do you think you're lacking? What is it? I don't know. You have to decide that for yourself. Why is it when you visualize the future, you can totally do it. You can see the expansion. You want to do it. And then when it comes down to it, it's like you just stop. Or you just everything, just like this huge whirlpool happens. This month can teach you how to pace yourself. This can teach you how to do those things and make those steps and know that it doesn't have to come all crashing down at once. It's the Pisces Virgo axis. So anytime that happens this month, bottom of the deck, the doubt comes in, that wave comes crashing in. Remember to be grateful. Be grateful for this awareness, because maybe you just didn't know until now. And if you have, be grateful that you have this continuous opportunity to change, to shift, to expand your mind, to go for things. Because if you do that and you lean, so it's real funny, because when we show you the cards, it'll come out in a little bit slightly different way, because I already feel it. And then I didn't even think I was going to talk to you this much. It's so interesting. Because I know I'm saying a lot, but it's so good. You have so much to be excited about. You have so much coming and being pulled into you, and you just have to remember to focus of why do you want to keep doing this, and how do you want to keep doing this? What do you need in order to keep doing it in the most efficient way for you? What are those things that you need? Figure that out. It's big. Because you may know what others need, even though if they don't want to hear it from you. You know what you need, but others also know what you need, and you can have that support without it being salty. It might feel salty, but it doesn't have to be salty. And I love you. And I know this was a lot. but it's big and it's powerful. So take it in. We'll look at the second part. All the information to work with me is below, Pisces. I love you. Happy holidays and however you celebrate. And I will see you next month. Hi, Pisces. This month is going to show you what you have. It's going to show you what you don't have, show you what you have and you are happy with, and also what you're unsatisfied with. You are going to be asked to do more if you want more, especially if you're committing to a certain role or a certain direction in your life. There's much to celebrate from, and it's possibly that's going to give you even more energy. It's just that the initial task at hand is you're going to need more energy, so there might be slight changes you're going to have to make in your life, and it's a closing out a cycle and starting something new, starting something different. And of course, a lot of times when good things happen, there's that negative spin on things, or the other side of it, the other side of that weight. And for a moment you may feel like you're back in your head again, but what it really is you reflecting on certain things. Because now that you understand that you're not being shown things that you're jealous of because life wants to spite you, or places where you think you're lacking. That's just like Sagittarius season showing you how much more you could be, have, do, and you desire that. So the reason when you feel those ways is because you actually desire it, but you have to put in the work. You have to put in that mental work. A lot of this is just focus and this back and forth, but it's like this open, this close. It's like a quick breath. Contract, expand, contract, expand. So every time you expand, you're also going to contract, because you're ending the cycle that has kept you stuck. It's just really important that when you commit to something, or else you're going to continue to have doubts. See, the thing is that even if this person isn't serious, it could be fun to hang on with them, but it's still going to leave you feeling like, I feel like there's something better, there's something more, and it's right, and it's actually wants to meet you at your level, and you just have to kind of get rid of the old debris. I don't know why, but I'm reminded of this dream that I have sometimes where I'm in a store and I don't really know what I'm there looking for, but I'm not really pleased with anything, but I'm at the store shopping for, it's usually clothes, and it's very dimly lit, very poor lighting in that dream. And I don't know, maybe the choice that you have to make is different from the options that you have. And right now it's more about focusing on the internal options and the internal decisions. And then when you do that, notice what external opportunities come your way. You'll have plenty of opportunities to either say yes or to turn things down this month. It's not about if you have the means for it, it's more if you have the means of your energy. But all in all, it keeps me coming back to feeling gratitude, making decisions when you're not feeling well, especially if they're big decisions, will not really benefit you. So if you find yourself in a place where you're deciding from a mindset that will not suit your future, then maybe wait a couple days. This month wants to propel you, but it also wants to remind you of why you're being propelled and where you're being propelled to. But mainly it's just about clearing up some things. So you'll see where you need to go and where you need to put your energy. It's just really important that you do that. Anyone who takes you away from that, maybe think about how their energy affects your life. You want people to be supportive and encourage you towards what will help you have less stress, ultimately, in a very general way. All right, I know it's not always that easy, I hope you have a beautiful Sagittarius season. And Capricorn season will bring more structure, more, which you'll like. So all information to work with me is below. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next month, Pisces.